How about the Gateway?
You know, have you met with the crew there? They have some really exciting ideas. The folks that bought the St. Mary's site have some really interesting and exciting ideas, and they have the wherewithal to bring in other developers to work with them. So the city has been working with them to say, if you have a developer, if you have a project, if there's something you want to do on this site, then let's do it all together. So St. Mary's, Gateway, whoever gets the RFP for the casino will bring on board and really try and develop that corridor. And I'm not sure if you've been down to St. Mary's, but there are just some really interesting things going on that front. And I think eventually it will develop, but I think we need to get the lottery in the casino in place and find out who are the proponents for that, the people that won the RFP. And I think it'll go. It hasn't been a high priority with this council because with the River's Edge folks there, then they're really people that are working very closely with the city and the EDC they're bringing forward all kinds of great ideas. So, it'll be a development piece by piece.
I have my vision for downtown. But right now, businesses are failing. There's empty buildings in there. And I'm not painting that glim a picture, gloomy a picture. But there is, that's a fact. What else can we do to help that?
Well, some of the strategies with the Economic Development Corporation with small businesses and with the business incubator is it's tied into those businesses taking occupancy in the downtown core. So that's one thing. I think that the development of the hospital sites, when you have people living in the area, will demand businesses be created because people will want their services and their goods within a walkable area. So I think that will help. We have the second phase of a downtown revitalization program, which enables people to do work on the facades and work within the building. The first phase, with a influx of city dollars, was about 200,000, and then the province and the federal government came with additional money, and that created somewhere around $20 million of private investment. So if you look at some of the facades in some of the downtown buildings, you'll see that they've really upgraded. So I think we need to continue to provide that kind of support for individuals to be able to beef up the place, and the hinging of people being successful out of the incubator to locate down there and people moving down there. And I've talked to a number of people that have owned stores and now have renovated apartments upstairs, and they love being downtown. So it really needs to have that foot traffic. Mm-hmm. And the foot traffic will demand that the services and the goods are there. And I think, I really do think that the development of the hospital sites is going to be great.
Crime rate is going up.
According to the police, it's going down.
Pardon me?
According to the police stats, it's going down.
Okay.
But domestic violence calls are up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. I've suggested, in talking with other candidates, I've suggested partnering with the police services, and I know you already do, and other things, but...
I sit on the police services board.
And partnering with them to have the education, not only for the victim, but for the police services themselves, and on how to deal with domestic violence issues. It's gone through the roof.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, and domestic violence calls are up. And it's interesting because, if you really think about what the police should be doing, the police should not be involved in domestic violence. All they're going to do is arrest the perpetrator, throw them in jail, and I said they because I don't want to say he or she because it could be either one. Throw them in jail, and they're out the next day on bail. So it's really about getting our community organizations together when it comes to domestic violence, and really having good education and good supports and good education so that people in these very, very difficult life situations are able to have the supports to get out. Because really the police, it's not what they should be doing. It doesn't help the problem. And unless you get to the root of the problem, it's going to continue. So for me, it's more about what do we need to do as a community to support our community organizations to make sure that those supports are in place. I think policing is changing. This Chief Keach, our new chief, has some really interesting ideas on community policing. It's going to take a while for all of that to roll out, but I think his premise is to work with the community and to make sure that the police are where they should be and where they need to be, and the community organizations are where they should be and where they need to be. And that way, the resources are appropriately dispatched. But, you have to, again, look at full pictures and not just, one thing. So, are the police being dispatched where they need to be? And I would suggest that they're not, that we really need to look at what our community agencies are doing. And we have some wonderful community agencies. Sadly, they're under-resourced. And so that's now my job, is to make sure I stay connected, because that's my world. Health and social services is my world. So that I stay connected and I am able to lobby the province for appropriate funding for these organizations to make sure that people have the supports that they need.
You've been accused of taking credit for the deep sea harbor. Comment on it again, please.
Well, I've never taken credit for it. The deep sea harbor has been on the city's books for 25 years. So I've never taken credit for it. What I do want to say very clearly is that we have worked very hard over the last 4 years, myself, our member of parliament, our member of provincial parliament, to elevate this and move it forward. We needed to move the marker forward. Right at the beginning of the term, both the federal government and the provincial government said to me, we don't want to do a lot of little projects. We want to do big projects that will really have a positive impact on the community and the region. And so the port has always been there. And so that's what we started bringing forward to them. And, right from the beginning of my term, we were touring Tony Clement and Michael Gravel and people like that, all the ministers that would come into town. We would tour the area and keep them very, very apprised of what was going on. And then we, with their support and their encouragement, we did the business plan, which identified a lot of the key areas that KPMG feels will be a benefit. And, it's very clear that both the provincial and federal government came to the plate and announced it. And, I know that the timing would give that perception. I absolutely understand that. We knew we had the funding back in May. We couldn't make the announcement because there was a looming provincial election. We got through that. And then what happened is that SR Ports came to us, and they had a much broader vision of this port development than we did. I mean, they're the experts. And so once we listened to that, we were beyond excited about what they had to say in the part that they wanted to play in it. Like, we could barely contain ourselves. We were so excited. But then we needed to go back to our federal and provincial member and say, here's what's being proposed now. Are you still okay supporting it? And then once we got their approval, we needed to go back to FedNor and NOHFC and say, okay, the scope has changed. Are you still okay funding it? And that took us to when we made the announcement. So there was a lot of work that had to go on. And, the timing was not electioneering or staging. It was just a sequence of events, and we want to move forward with it.
Mhm.
And then there was a resolution that came at the following council meeting for $300,000 of city money, which is our piece of the pie. And we could not wait until November 10th or December 1st to do that. We need to move this project forward. It's a very, very important project, and so we needed to pass the resolution.
Well, this is one of the positives. I went through all the negatives, but this is one of the positives that I had listed, is working with the MP and the MPP so well. They've come through, the MPP especially, has come through with quite a few
Yep.
dollars for our city. So.
Both, don't forget that federally we have the Bridge Plaza,
Yeah,
and we
yeah,
have so they
Yeah.
both
Oh,
have worked
I'm not
very,
taking
very
anything
hard.
away from
Yeah,
Brian.
but both worked very
But,
hard for our community.
But all I'm saying is that you three do work well together.
We work very well together, yeah.
Uh,
And that was what I said last time going in, is that type of atmosphere needed to be created.
Sure.
And, certainly we've seen great success with that.
Mhm. You turned down the Point Estate project.
Yes, I did.
I have to be unbiased. But a lot of people were glad that you did, because it would have ruined the wetlands there, according to them.
According to,
It's at the OMB, so we'll get a decision by November 18th, so we'll see what happens then. But a lot of people are appreciative that you did do that.
and some aren't.
Yes, I know 3 people that are. And I will mention them. Avery's, for obvious reasons. Ozzy Grandinetti, for obvious reasons, because he could have had a lot of work there. And Lammy. We'll stop there. West End Community Center, fantastic. But we still have to get the arena.
Yay. You know what? The building is built in such a way that you can just phase on, so it's an interesting build, for sure, and I agree. But again, you talk about balance and roads, and these are things too that you have to wait until there's really good infrastructure programs in place from other levels of government to be able to go forward and capitalize on those kinds of things.
2 ways of looking at the 0% tax hike for this budget. So, another good one. Turning council into a cooperative and cohesive team.
Yeah, it's been a
I'm
good.
like, we were used to.
It's been, everybody, and we often disagree, but when we walk out of that room, everybody is fine. There's no hostility. There's the discussion is done at that point in time. We bring it to the table. We bring it in the room, and they've been a really good group to work with, all of them.
I watch it all the time, and in the last 4 years, I've come away when it's over saying, that was boring.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that to me. You're a boring mayor, and I'm like, oh well, sorry. But that's what I promised. I promised that I would bring that level of cooperation out, and so I did what I said I was going to do, and it's important for our community that council, our member of parliament, and our member of provincial parliament are all working together. This disparity of opinions and havoc wreaked over arguments is just counterproductive in my view, and I'm not interested in going there. We've done significant work with the province to ensure that OLG maintains a presence in this community, and that is upwards to 1,000 jobs that so I really think we can't be we can't not include that, so that changes the number. It's critically important, the work that was done there. We have a very, very good relationship with the premier. We have a very good relationship with the chair of the OLG, to the point where I have both their home numbers if I need to call them, which is very much appreciated on my part, and they've said don't hesitate if you're hearing something or you're feeling uncomfortable with anything, give us a call. So, you know, those things are in place, and there's been significant effort put into making sure that not only do we maintain that OLG presence, but that we are able to grow in digital gaming, that we become a center of excellence, and we've got great cooperation from OLG with that. And we're excited when they start announcing their proponents for their RFPs. We'll have an opportunity to pitch Sault Ste. Marie, and so it's good work.
What is your vision for this city?
I really see Sault Ste. Marie being a leader in Northern Ontario and beyond in population growth, economic opportunities, and the other areas that I mentioned, the full community with the recreation and the culture and all of that. I see us being a leader in that. And I think, you know, statistically, we have seen a slight growth in population where others haven't. And I think that with the projects that we're working on, I think we have the capabilities to do that. Our job at the city then is to make sure that the environment supports development and growth, and that takes in every aspect of the community.
At the end of all my interviews, I've given everybody an opportunity to speak to the voters. Would you like to say something to the voters?
Well, first and foremost, I want to say thank you to everyone in Sault Ste. Marie who has supported me to begin the 4-year term, to elect me, and all of the support that I have received in the last 4 years. We have incredible people in this community, and I just I can't say enough about how appreciative I am of this community and their support. I ask you for your support for the next 4 years. We have some exciting projects that are starting to come fruition. We've made some great investments in our community. We have some very concrete, secure statements with OLG. We've got exciting things coming with the Port of Algoma. We have just all kinds of exciting and interesting things to do, and I will continue to try, I will continue to provide the leadership that I have to make sure that our Member of Parliament, our Member of Provincial Parliament, the Mayor and Council are all working together for the betterment of the community, because that's why we're all here. We're all here to make sure that Sault Ste. Marie is the best place to live, work, and play.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We've been speaking with Debbie Amaroso, Mayor of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and also a candidate in the upcoming election on October 27th. Thank you very much.